guys, welcome to Fishing with Gary. Today we're up at Roosevelt Lake. For you out-of-towners, out-of-staters, we're about a little over 100 miles outside of Phoenix. Well, we picked one of the hottest days to come out. It's going to only reach 115 degrees. Guys, and this happens all over the country. How do you catch those fish when you have the dog days of summer? Hot conditions, where do the fish go? What do the fish bite on? But the main thing I want to teach you guys is from taking people fishing, when you're using a tungsten weight, these are so delicate weights that you're pulling them in and you're banging rocks and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you feel that tick. Well, was it that tungsten hitting the rock or was a fish biting? I'm going to show you a way to catch that fish and to tell the difference. Because most guys I take can't tell the difference. Some of you pros can, but you tell you what, a lot of you can't. So we're gonna have fun today. We're gonna catch some fish. We picked the hottest day of so far this year in Phoenix, Arizona. So let's get with it. Today I'm just Texas rigging and my setup is gonna be something real simple. I have a bold bluegill. This is a brand new one made by Zoom, all right? Zoom's starting to get into all the major colors like Morning Dawn, bold bluegill. So what I did was I put a bobber stopper, and you're probably wondering, why is that bobber stopper 2-3 inches? That's the bobber stopper there. Why is the bobber stopper so far up from the tungsten weight? I'll tell you why. This worm floats. I mean, it's a floater. And when that's in the water like that and that hits the bottom, this thing's gonna stand straight up like this. All right, I also attached a little glass bead. So we're gonna be catching our fish deep today, anywhere from 22 to 35, all right? So that way I can just jiggle a little bit, get a little bit of sound in there. Early this morning, the fish were up shallow. Last night they were up shallow, but today the sun's coming out and it's probably already in the high 90s. So let's go to it. Let's figure this out. I'm gonna show you what I'm fishing. We're fishing vertical stuff, kind of 90-degree stuff. And let's go out and try my theory and see if we can catch some bass today. So you guys can see the bluff we're fishing on. Nice and rocky, and look at that. Looks like you'd be out here losing a lot of tungsten and stuff, and at $2.50 a piece, you know, you'd be surprised. You know what I do? Instead of using real heavy tungstens in places like this, I go lighter. I go with a 3/16 ounce. And some of you will say, well, I can't feel the tungsten on the bottom. You know what my trick is, I've learned? You don't have to feel it on the bottom. All you gotta do is let your line float on the water, and if it's floating like that on top of the water, you're on the bottom. But guess what? When you feel a tick, that's the fish, not the bottom. That's a good way, a new technique that I've learned, and I don't care if I'm fishing in 10 feet of water or I'm fishing in 40 feet. I still use that same theory. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just rigging this Texas style, all right? So, you know, I just came in 1/8 of an inch and just buried the worm in there. So it does keep it from, you know, getting stuck that much. So we're just gonna try a little bit of shallow stuff first. So as you can see how that drops off 10 feet out from the shore, that's gonna be, you know, probably 15 feet deep. I'm in 30 feet right now. So what I'm gonna do is just give you some tips about this kind of fishing. Those fish need to be in a comfort zone. They need to be, once it's hot and sunny like this and it's gonna get up to 115, they wanna be in an air-conditioned spot in the, you know, with lunch or dinner close by. So I'm watching my graph. So if there's any advice I can give to you, keep an eye on your graph all the time. Watch your graph, watch out. You know, if you don't have a real good graph, that's all right. You don't have to have that real expensive one. All you have to do is show the depth, and all of them will show the shad. The shad are so grouped up together that it'll just be a black blob on your graph, you know. So we're just gonna cruise along here. I'm in 22 feet of water and I'm not seeing any fish. So let's just kind of cast out, and what I'll do is I'll just point us outwards. I'm gonna look for my fish right now. But I'm still fishing. I'm still throwing that out, and I'm still fishing. So we're at 23, 24, 25, and you could still catch fish up there. Don't get me wrong. You know, there's still a number of fish that stay shallow, you know, from 12 to 20 feet. Usually those are smaller fish during the day that'll stay that shallow. So I cast, whoops, what do I got, a stick? Yeah, nope, got a big old bass. Whoa, man, see that super floater worm right there floating? Well, I guess we'll show you how to, man, I'll tell you what, this fish, there was no bite at all. He just hung on like I was getting stuck on a tree limb or something. And sometimes that happens, guys, just dragging it along, you know. That's a nice fat 2.5, 2 3/4 pound bass to start the day with. Summertime fishing doesn't have to be bad, guys. It can be good, and look what that reward is. Lost my worm, but I can go back and get it because it's floating on the surface. What a way to start, huh? So what I got to do real quick is I'm still clipping fins for the game and fish department. So let me clip this fin and put it in the test tube. It's exactly 18, almost 18.5, which weighs 3 pounds, 10 ounces. So I'm just going by the graph, what it weighs on my board. So 18.5 inches, 3 pounds, 10 ounces. I'm just gonna open this up. Put that test vial in there. Get my handy dandy little scissors out. All I'm doing is just taking a little sample of his pectoral fin. It's just a tiny little bit. Put him in the test tube. Well, let me let this fish go first, and then we'll go. But nice fish, huh, guys? First one. Dog days of summer. So, ready? Here we go. Come on, baby. All right, boys, that's this first fish we caught, 3 pounds, 10 ounces. So, let's kind of get going along here. You'll see from me casting out what we're heading up to. I mean, bluff walls in the summertime are critical. Those fish love a deep shoreline that they can move into. You know, you guys that are fishing in ponds and stuff, back east and stuff, that's different. I mean, you don't have this stuff, but at the lakes, try to find some of this real steep stuff, because this is where it's happening, you know, in the summertime. I like to fish this real steep stuff in the summer and the winter. And just like that fish there, I'll tell you what, there was no bite at all, nothing. Just felt like I was dragging into somebody's line, or I was hooking a stick or something like that, until finally I realized it was a fish, set the hook. Hook sets are free, you know, and look what happened, you know. So we're just bouncing this real slow along the bottom. After the sun comes up, you know, and these fish have quit feeding all night long. We had a 3/4 moon, so they're done feeding. But you can see what I'm going to head into right there. That should be dynamite, that point. That's just above me out there off those rocks. That just continues right out into the lake, you know. We got lucky and we caught one off the rocks here. So we're gonna keep moving and just kind of, I'm in 30 feet of water. I watch my graph all the time. I'm looking for bait fish. I'm not necessarily, I look for fish, but if you find the bait fish, you find the fish automatically. So let's just kind of keep going. Got another one. Texas rigging. This is a fighter. Jump. Whoa. Largemouth bass, Roosevelt Lake. Not big, but pretty. We're gonna keep easing up on this thing. I need to pull out a little bit because we're easing up in shallow water. And I wanna be sitting out in 30, 35 feet because I can cast a long ways up there, you know. So automatically I'm gonna start casting towards that point right now. I'm staying a long ways away from me because, believe it or not, this trolling motor's running. They can hear the hum in the trolling motor. They can hear your graph going tick, 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 you know. So it's kind of giving them a little bit of a warning system that, you know, something's coming or they're hearing strange noises. So if I could stay quite a ways away, then we'll be okay. There's still plenty of fish, you know. It's right now. It's guy. It's got to be 9 o'clock. It's 5 minutes to 9 right now. So, you know, normally people are leaving the lake about now. So, but if you can take the heat and stay out here, I mean, it's nice, not too bad, you know. My cameraman might be sweating, but, you know, it's not too bad. If there was a breeze, it would be better, trust me. So I'm gonna kind of just ease that up. I'm gonna just stay with the Texas rig, you know, got a little bead on there, make a little noise when it goes. I'm fishing very slow. I'm not working that bait fast at all. So we're just gonna ease up on this point right here and see what we can catch. And yeah, I'll tell you what, if the cameraman can catch the next, there's a bird on the next point down, but look what we have to fish right here. We have this point here, we have the bird point there, we have another point down on the other end of that. So, I mean, my gosh, you have so much structure within a small area. And if we went the other way, it's the same way. Point after point after point. If you don't know where to fish in your lake, fish a point, all right? A point, a reef, or an island or something like that, there's always fish on those, always. We're in our monsoon season right now, so we had a rain up here last night and violent windstorm, so we had to kind of stay off the lake for a little while because it was lightning a lot, so we just kind of sat in the parking lot and let it cool down. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting on this rounded corner right now. I'm in 28 feet of water. So I'm just kind of cruising along real slow. And I'm either waiting for that tick or I'm waiting for that lure to get heavy. I'm waiting for something, like I said, that I don't know it's a bite. I don't know if it's just a rock or what it is. So let me make another cast. I'm sure to catch a fish here. This point is dynamite. So let's just cast up there in like 15 feet of water. Maybe I'll catch a small one just to show you. I want to show you the difference on how to detect this bite. Okay, so we're getting down to the bottom. Yeah, there's about 15, 16, 17 feet there. I'm out 28, 29, 30. So I'm just gonna work this in real slow over these rocks, all those boulders, all those rocks. So I'm bound to hit some of those with this tungsten weight. And I'm not gonna know, I've been fishing professionally for over 30 years. Sometimes I don't know if it's a bite or not. You know, you can't tell with these baits. Sometimes, okay, I just got a tick, all right? Now I don't know if that's a fish or not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reel up slow. My rod's gonna kind of load up. There he is. That little bump turned into a fish, okay? So I'm gonna just reel it in slow because he came out of deep water. Feels like a good one. He's pulling pretty good. You actually can tell when you get one on, you know, by how heavy they are with this rod. This rod is a medium with a very fast tip. I like to just reel them up easy as they come up so I don't give them the bends, and when I let them go, unhook them and let them go. There he comes. Oh boy, another nice fish. There he goes. Whoa, he saw the daylight, so he's stripping line. Come on, baby. Come on. They like to stay down in that comfort zone, you know, that thermocline, you know. They don't like 86, 87, 88 degrees. There he is. There he is. There he is. He says he didn't want to waste any energy jumping. He just wants to come right in. We'll just bring him up. Oh, he's heavy. Wow. That's another big one. I won't spend a lot of time gloating over him, but just a nice Roosevelt bass. These are some of those Florida strains they stocked in here. 1.5 million of these when they were just little bitty fry like this. Whoop. Swim down. There he goes. Down into the depths. Back into 25, 30 feet of water. I always watch just to make sure those fish don't come up, because you know, sometimes if they get the bends, they'll come back up and float. But if you can get them in pretty quick, you know, instead of keeping them out, just goes to show you how valuable these points are. I mean, I'm out in 35 feet of water. I mean, I can easily cast and, you know, make a long cast over the point like that and bring this bait back up to me, climb this thing over the rocks and stuff. I noticed when I got up there a little bit, I started seeing more fish out in 29, 30 feet of water. So, well, you know what, folks? I was so worried about the fish coming up and maybe having a hard time that I didn't clip that one, because I got him out of really deep water, you know, probably 28, 29 feet. So I didn't clip the fin on that one. That one got a free one. So, Andy, sorry about that one. We'll catch more. I'm having to fish really slow too, so I'm staying out about 25 feet from shore. I keep drifting in a little bit as I come up on this big old flat out here. So I want to stay out in 29, 30 feet of water. If I was not paying attention to my bite, or was that a bite or was it a rock? Always just start reeling like this, just nice and easy. And as your rod starts to go over, if it's stuck, you're not going to keep reeling. If it's a fish and you reel 3 or 4 or 5 times, that's a fish. Set the hook. That's the difference on getting a fish in your live well in a tournament or fun fishing or just catching it. So I'm going to make some long cast again. I'm looking at my graph and there's fish on the bottom way out here in 30 feet. So they'll be out in anywhere from 23 to 28 feet of water on this point. And you guys got to see how nice and rocky it was. So they're just up here getting an afternoon snack, you know, crawdad snack or something like that. When you get bigger fish like that, they like a little calcium in their diet, you know. That's what those crawdads are, instead of the protein, the shad. So they'll take a shad if they can, but if they can get out there and get them a big old crawdad, that's even better. Some of the fish I caught last night all had big old crawdads in their throats. So this lake has a good supply of crawdads. Sometimes I just kind of reel real slow like this, and I'm trying to bounce over those rocks. You know, I'm trying to make this look like a crawdad or something, just bouncing over the rocks. So naturally you're gonna feel those rocks coming over that tungsten. Okay, I just lifted up and I felt something. Okay, I'm reeling slow. There it is. So what is a rock? What is a fish? You need to reel 4 or 5 times, and if your rod starts to bow over just a little bit and it's coming in, that's a fish. Oh, there's our fish. It's not a giant, but you know what? He's a nice fish. You get them up towards the surface and they don't want to, they want to just kind of, let's just get him over here. We'll just Whoops. Well, that was a quick release. Well, you got to see him anyway. So cameras don't lie. So we're gonna just fix this up a little bit. Sometimes your worm gets used on the end of it. Tell you what, just stick it back in. Going along the bottom, I like to test this to make sure that's sharp. If it's sharp, it's gonna stick to your thumbnail. Push that back up. Hook that right back in there. I just fill it on the other side. I'm set to go. Remember, I keep that bobber stopper about 2 inches from that weight so I can click that thing sometimes. Right now they want it pretty slow, so I'm gonna throw it way up there. I'm in 49 feet of water, so I'm gonna get back up to where the fish are, because there are some fish on this point. Watch my rod. I'm gonna move it this way. I start to reel. Now, if I was stuck, I would be pulling my rod towards there, but look at this. He's on there. Set the hook. Come on, baby. What's my depth? 38 feet, man. But I caught that fish up further, so I was probably in 30. That kind of ticked it, you know, but some guys just don't know what that tick is, or like I said, these tungstens, man, I'll tell you what, if you fished a long, long time, you pretty well know. But for you beginners, I feel for you, because you just can't. Here he is. All right, come on up. You had enough playtime. This one we can just flip right in the boat. Boy, I tell you, when you hook them all right in the very front of the... That one got a little gut on him. Has he got a crawdad in him? Nope. All right, let's let him go. Well, I hope you got the gist of this. It's either a bite or it's a rock. None of those were rocks we had. All those fish were bites. I want to kind of keep this short today. We got some other stuff to do today and things to do. But Texas rigging, got this Johnny Morris platinum rod and matching reel. Well, I tell you what, if you have the money, it's well worth it, you know, to get this thing. They also put these on sale all the time. Texas rigging, a bobber stopper, 2 inches above the weight, a glass bead. I use red so that it makes a sound. I use a 1/0 hook and well, it was a 7-inch trick worm. It's a brand new one. It's called bull bluegill, but it works good. Zoom makes some really good worms. So guys, go out and try it. Don't be afraid just because it's hot today or whatever. Go out early in the morning at 5, 6 o'clock. You can stay till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, take plenty of water. Make sure you put sunscreen on, wear a long sleeve sun shirt, and you too will be catching these. Try that theory out. It's either a rock or a fish. Just start reeling with your reel. If that rod starts bowing over, it's coming to you. Set the hook. It'll work for you. Catch you more fish and put them in the live well. Thanks for watching my videos, and we'll catch you on the next lake.